All right, what's going on? Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com. I apologize that it's a little dark in here. Very soon enough, I'll be almost done building out the studio, so we'll do this not in front of a white curtain here. But what's going on? Happy to be here and happy to be talking about a topic today which is very interesting. Okay, we're talking about the alpha male, right? The alpha male. This so-called alpha male that people talk about. You got to be alpha. Don't be beta. Don't be beta. You can't be beta. You got to be alpha, right? That's what they say. That's what people are saying. And we're going to kind of break down what that looks like. What is an alpha male? And why does it turn a woman on so much? Why does she want the alpha male? The alpha male of the group. Okay, so we'll get into that in just a bit. Looks like there's a lot of people coming on here. What's up? Hey, Michael. Hey, Dominic. Ashok, Ulysses, Tactical Mystic. What's up, everybody? And for those of you who are watching not live, hello to you as well. As you can see on the bottom corner of the screen, right there, there are two things. There's a URL to a website, because that's what a URL is, coachedbytripp.com. There's also a phone number. So what are those? Well, the phone number is for you to call in and get your questions answered. However, don't call in yet. We're not taking questions yet, but we will in maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll start getting people to call in and answer your specific questions on whatever your situation is. Yes, good morning, Ned. All right, Ulysses, cheers from Brazil. Awesome. Yes, say hello. So we'll get to those calls in just a second. And then you'll see coachedbytripp.com. Like I said, that's a URL. What does that mean? Well, self-explanatory. Coached by Tripp. That's right. You'll be coached by me if you're interested in receiving coaching. Coaching is not free. There is an investment for it. It is what I do to help men, besides put out these videos and podcasts, is I coach them. I coach them one-on-one, either over the phone or in person. And what I do is I basically create a plan for you to be able to get results in your dating life so you can get to the point where you're dating and sleeping with beautiful women and you have an active dating lifestyle. That's what I do. That's what I specialize in. That's what I've been doing for 10 years. And it's interesting because not a lot of people know that I do that. So I feel like I've been having to advertise it more and talk about it more on my platforms such as, YouTube Live and my Instagram, which, by the way, you should follow me at Tripp Advice. I'll put that in the chat. But yeah, I've been talking about it more because people aren't aware. And they've been telling me, like, I didn't know you did coaching. And I was like, well, that's my fault because I'm not letting you know that coaching is available. But here we are, and I'm telling you now. Coachedbytripp.com. Go check it out, and I can be able to help you out. It's a URL that takes you specifically to a application form because you do have to apply. Not everyone can get in. I can't take everyone as a client because I can't help everyone. I don't have the time to help everyone, and I only want to help people who are really serious and, of course, over 18. Eshak says, how can we meet in person? Coaching is your best way to do that. So go to coachedbytripp.com and apply. Okay? Oh, look, we got a hater. Wreck on Arts. He said, I wonder if he's going to ramble and say a shit ton of bullshit or he's going to actually get to the point. Let's time it. Oh, Reckon, you're such a nice person. I hope that you're getting results in your dating life. But with that attitude, probably fucking not. Love you, haters. Come on. Come at me. Tuesday afternoon, I'm ready for it. All right, but let's get into some good information. The alpha male. What's the alpha male? Now, you'd probably look at me and say, that dude, that guy is not an alpha male. And I agree. I don't look like your typical alpha male or what they would call an alpha male. You think alpha male, you think big, strong, about 5 times the size of me, maybe tall, warrior, gladiator, right? You think a very deep voice, maybe a beard, right? Like all these things. What's interesting is that is how people describe the alpha male, but you're interestingly enough describing it only in a physical sense. People seem to only describe the alpha male in a physical sense, right? I just kind of explain what the alpha male is, okay? In terms of how I think people are describing it. And I only named physical traits. And I believe that guys are really only focusing on that, okay? You could barely hear my voice. I don't know if that's true. I can see that my volume is pretty high, actually. So if anyone can just double check for me and let me know if you guys can hear me pretty clear. It should be. Okay. So anyways, you're describing the alpha male only in the physical way. Now, some of you might say, well, an alpha male is a guy who's a leader. Okay. That's probably as far as you're going. You know, you might think an alpha male is someone who's a CEO or someone in a high position, someone of high authority. But you're probably still thinking that that alpha male still has to be physically strong, chiseled jaw. Really, I'm sure when you think alpha male, the first thing in your head is a picture of that dude, right? You're not thinking of his personality traits. You're thinking of his physical traits. Okay? Everyone says they can hear me. Okay, cool. You guys are awesome. Always sticking up for the Tripp. Yeah, Axel, I think it's your headphones because I think I'm coming in pretty clear. So, here's the thing. You have this all wrong. Someone said alpha male is a leader in a relationship. That is true. That is true. Okay. So, let me break down what a true alpha male is. And then what I want to do is break down why is that attractive to women. Okay. So, let's kind of take this one step at a time. Per usual, okay? So the alpha male, so I'll say this. Yeah, you know, an alpha male could look like that, right? You could see a guy who's got those physical alpha male characteristic physical traits. But the problem is he might not actually be alpha in the way that he comes across with his personality and the way that he handles his emotions and the world, okay? So the alpha male is someone who is primarily someone who has personality traits that would be described more alpha. Okay? So I know I just said alpha like 50 times. I didn't really explain what that means, but let me just continue to dive deeper. I want to take this slow. Really, the alpha male is someone who is dominant, decisive, someone who is a leader, like I believe most people think an alpha male is. Someone who I believe is somewhat charismatic, who is fearless, who is able to talk to people or women without being nervous or without too much of a problem. Okay? So these are all the personality traits. Now, why am I so stuck on personality traits? Well, that's because when it comes to attraction, your personality traits, the way you behave, your behavioral traits, they have a heavier weight, okay? They have a heavier weight than your physical attraction. So I'll give you an example. If you're a really typical good-looking guy, let's say like what you would describe as the alpha male, some guy who's tall, strong, chiseled jaw, handsome, kind of bulky, big, but you don't know how to talk to a woman or you're really shy, you will have a very, very hard time attracting a woman. Yeah, maybe you'll be able to like sleep with some girls, maybe if you somehow get to that point. But, and there are people like this, by the way. You know, we can't just assume that if you're a good-looking physical guy that all of a sudden that everything else in your life is handled. It's not true. I've worked with these guys. I've worked with guys who are very good-looking guys, but they still have trouble meeting women. Why is that? Well, like I said, they're shy. They don't know how to be decisive. They're scared of rejection, things like that, okay? So that's what's happening, right? Is like we can take that guy and his results will be minimal. Now let's take the opposite. Let's take the guy, maybe a guy who looks like me, kind of nerdy, glasses, skinny, not your typical alpha male looking guy. And I'm not saying me as the example, but, just a person that doesn't have these physical alpha male traits, but he has the personality traits of an alpha male. Like I said, decisive, courageous, fearless, charismatic, a leader, someone who takes action, someone who is in control enough of their emotions where they can handle problems that come their way. They're more like I said, proactive in terms of figuring out how to find solutions to things. If you have that guy and he's not typically good looking or alpha male physical looking, he will do better with attracting women than the guy who has the alpha male physical without the alpha male personality. Does that make sense? I really tried to break that down. Okay. So someone said, come on, alpha, really? It's interesting. I'm using the word alpha just because that is just such a typical term. I feel like guys resonate with that term because that's the term that's used in society. What I like to really use is I like to use masculine. Okay? Masculine. Masculinity is, or I should say this. When it comes to attraction, you have masculine and you have feminine. And what I'm about to explain to you right now is something that I've learned not just in my own experience, but I've learned this through a book called The Way of the Superior Man, and then just having a lot of conversations about this. I do recommend that book. It talks a lot about it breaks down masculine and feminine, okay? So you have masculine, you have feminine, So again, I'm not using the word alpha anymore. I'm going to use the word masculine. When a man displays his masculine traits, the ones that I previously said, the personality traits, that makes a feminine woman attracted. Just like you are attracted to feminine traits. So, of course, there's a lot of different ways we can go about this, because we can talk about homosexuality and things like that and how that all works with masculine and feminine. But just for this example, because I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching this are straight, let's just use the example of man and woman, right, who are straight, heterosexual. So this straight man, he is attracted to a feminine woman and feminine traits, generally speaking. And the woman who is straight, feminine woman, is attracted to the masculine traits, okay? So her feminine traits are, physical might be, parts of her body that display femininity. So that would be her breasts, maybe her butt, the way her skin looks, her hair, things like that. And then there's personality traits, which are, nurturing, sensitive, sweet, things like that. And by the way, any person can have both masculine and feminine traits. As a guy, you have feminine traits and masculine traits. It's just that when you display your masculine traits, that's when you have the opportunity to get a woman attracted to you. Okay? Ronald, you're saying women are dumb. Come on, man. Come on. That's not cool. Okay, so this is what's turning them on. Okay? This is what's turning them on. So when a woman sees your masculine or alpha traits, this is what makes her want to be with you. And the reason why, I'm not going to go too deep into this, this is kind of like evolutionary psychology. The reason why a woman is more attracted to your personality or behavior traits is because that had more weight in terms of what was attractive when we were first evolving as humans. Okay, so those traits like caveman day traits, being courageous, fearless, being decisive, taking care of the family, those are like masculine traits. By the way, a woman can have those too, but those are the masculine traits that a woman are more attracted to because that helped for survival. And so when we go back to evolutionary theory, it's survival of the fittest, right? We are here on Earth to, in the simplest terms, survive and replicate. That's like our primal desires. We want to stay alive, and then we also want to have sex, right? Those are desires. And of course, everything along with that goes with that. It's like, that's why we're hungry, because we want to survive. That's why we're thirsty, because it's things to help us survive. That's why we want shelter, because it helps us survive. And that's why we're horny and we want to have sex and we feel an attraction towards a woman because our body is saying to replicate. And the ones that did are the ones that survived, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Someone said David Buss. Yeah, I believe David Buss does talk a lot about that, Frankie. That's true. So, kind of going along with this idea here, you're understanding, and hopefully I've convinced you long enough that this is what makes women turned on. And if you work on your alpha traits or your masculine traits and displaying them when you're talking to a woman, it will get her attracted. Of course, it's not like you can just be the most confident guy in the world and then go up to every woman and every woman's going to be attracted to you. No, there's still some outliers. I mean, sometimes they're not going to be physically attracted to you. They're just not going to be your type, and who knows why. But there are women out there, quality women, that are going for all sorts of men who look in all different ways. But we as guys in today's society put so much weight, an incredible amount of weight into the idea of looks. And we're not putting enough energy into our personality and charisma. Okay? So this is something that I want you to be doing. I want you to be focusing way more on how do I build up my confidence? How do I build up my self-esteem? How do I practice social skills and charisma to be able to go up and talk to a woman in such a confident way that she sees me as a masculine man? She sees me as the alpha male, because that is going to have more weight. And then on the background, yeah, of course, look your best. I'm not saying that looks completely don't matter. Yeah, they do. Look your best. Like, dress the best you can. If you have a beard, trim it in the best way possible. Get a haircut that's good for the shape of your face. Things like that. Okay. Just looking at some comments here. Cool. So, I hope that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions about this? I'll go to the chat here. I'll open up the lines in just a minute, and you can call in. I'll let you know when those are open. They're not open yet, even though I'm sure some of you are calling. But yeah, I wonder if this makes sense. This is Tripp advice. Tripp advice, is when I break down things to be in their most simple form, which I believe I've been doing with you guys. So I hope it helps. So let me know if that makes sense. If you have any questions about that. And you might be thinking like, well, Tripp, how do I do this like in a practical way? Like, what do I do with this information? Like, okay, cool. So you're telling me I need to be displaying my masculine traits. Women are more attracted to that. Looks aren't as important, yada, yada, yada. And so what you want to do, and I preach this quite a bit, especially if you've been watching for a long time, is you need to practice your social skills. I believe I did a live, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that talks about how do you practice with your social skills. And the thing I say is you kind of got to fight through the really tough, annoying anxiety, and you got to go out and you got to start talking to people, because anything you're going to do that you want to get good at, it's going to take practice. Okay? It's going to take practice. So I want you to be going out and talking to women and practicing, because when you do that, you're going to become more comfortable. And when you're comfortable in front of a woman talking to her and she sees, wow, this guy's comfortable, he's not nervous, it's going to show that you're confident, and that's going to be very attractive to her. Okay? And I'm just kind of working backwards here. Like I said, how do you get comfortable? You do it a lot. You push yourself. And of course, coaching helps with that too. So if you want to do coaching and you want to get coached by me to help you get to that point and really get to the point where you're using and pulling out of you some of those masculine traits and building on those masculine traits, that's what coaching does, and that's how it can help you, okay? So if you're interested in working on that and that seems like a difficult move for you, I suggest you at least apply for coaching to see if it's good for you, because when you apply, I'll reach out, we'll get on the phone, talk about coaching, see if it's a good fit, and kind of go from there. So go to coachedbytripp.com, and that's the website where you can apply for coaching, and we can help you do that, all right? Eshak, so are dominant women attracted to effeminate men, or was she be attracted to a man who's more dominant than her? That's a good question. She's going to be more attracted to a man who is more dominant than her. Okay? So the thing is that actually alpha females have a very hard time being able to find a man to date because she's too masculine and it kind of turns off the guy and she doesn't know how to step into her feminine. So she needs a guy who's really, really secure and is way more, depicts more masculine traits than her, so to speak. But that's a really good question. So, yeah. For me personally, I've always been attracted to very feminine women. Very feminine women. Women who are, I should say, very nurturing, very sweet, kind of like a soft personality, not someone who comes in really intense and hardcore, and someone who, I mean, it's fine if a woman is opinionated. I don't care if they have opinions, but if a woman is just like die hard, like trying to be right all the time, I mean, I don't want to hang out with a dude as a friend who's like always trying to be right, always trying to kind of argue and doesn't really know how to compromise. Like, that's a turnoff for me, you know. And I think it's more feminine to compromise and to hear out someone else and have empathy and things like that. And by the way, those are good feminine traits for you to have. Don't think that you need to be all masculine all the time. Don't think of masculine as man and feminine as woman. Think of, and I know that's kind of a tough thing to do because we associate men and masculine, feminine, and woman, but every gender, whether you have a penis or a vagina, every gender has both traits, okay? You shouldn't be all masculine. There are times when having some feminine traits actually is attractive, but let's not get into that because that's going to get really confusing here. You know, there's times when, you know, if you're with your girlfriend, you want to be nurturing, and that's feminine. You want to be open-minded and sweet and things like that. You don't have to be kind of like tough guy decisive all the time. There's times when you just want to sit down and a woman's talking to you and you just want to listen and be open. That's a feminine trait. So that's good too. Revi said have balance. Yeah, the balance is good. Someone again said turn the volume up. You guys can't hear me? This is the third person to say that. I'll turn it up a little bit. How's now? Is this better? I mean, I'm talking pretty loud. I don't want to blow out the mic for you guys, where then it gets like, whoa, he's too loud, and it gets annoying. So let me know what you think right now. I turned it up a little bit. We'll go from there. Guys, I'm going to turn on the ability for you guys to call. So the lines are open, 310-598-3384. Call in and let's talk about this topic. Love to talk about this topic or a specific topic you have. Please do not call in with general questions. We're not going to ask how do you get out of the friend zone or how do you get over a breakup or how do you talk to girls. I have those answers. Let's talk about your specific situation. Someone said much better. Okay, maybe I do have to turn this up a little bit. Okay, so hopefully that's better. I don't want to yell into this thing. So hopefully this is clear. Someone said how to have inner confidence AF and present your natural abilities without shyness. Practice, my friend. Putting yourself in front of more women, more people. Okay? If you take steroids, it makes you have testosterone. It makes you masculine. Is that true? Not necessarily. Yeah, it makes you stronger and bigger, but I described earlier that that's not the thing that necessarily makes you alpha. Okay? Why y'all always have to relate being an alpha or confident or successful or whatever the case might be with women? Don't you think that's some sort of looking for validation? Well, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't necessarily be doing this for women. Hopefully you're doing it for yourself. Masculine qualities are great qualities. Whether you're a woman or a man, masculine qualities are great because they help you take control, they help you lead, they help you make decisions. They're really good for your life in general. It shouldn't just be to attract women. So I like that you said that. It's not just to attract women. It's to really be able to have a life where you're in control of it. And I hope that women are doing that too. Again, both male and female should be tapping into all traits here because all are very good. So, if we categorize these traits, creativity is known as a feminine trait, okay? Creativity. So you're probably creative all the time in your work, in the arts. Maybe you play an instrument. Maybe, you do something that's like in film or business. Business, it's funny because when you're in business, it takes a lot of masculine and feminine traits. Making decisions is more of a masculine trait, and you need that for business, but you also need creativity and openness to come up with ideas, right? So it's like you want both. There's nothing that's better or worse. But when it comes to attracting a woman, excuse me, sneeze there. When it comes to attracting a woman, it's some of those masculine traits that just go further, okay? So, guys, the line is open. The line 310-598-3384. Go ahead. Call me. Give me a call. Give me a ring. Let's talk. This should work. Who wants to be the guinea pig today? I can also do super chats and answer questions there, or answer questions continuously in the chat. Excuse me. Woo. Let's see some questions you guys got. Don't forget, coaching is available. CoachByTripp.com. All you need to do is apply. I get a lot of applications, but I do read every single one. So if you're interested in getting coached by me in the area of helping you get more women, attract more women, I will help you do that. And we can get you to the point where you're meeting and attracting the kinds of women that you want. Basically, my job is to help guys not settle. I'd say, like, if I had to kind of put like a slogan on it, like, I'm helping guys not settle. I'm helping men not just go for women that they feel are not great for them. What's up, man? You're on the line. What's your name, age, and where you calling from?
Hi, Tripp. It's Dominic Rossetti. How you doing today?
What's up, Dominic? I've been seeing you in the chat. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I just had a quick question. A couple weeks ago, I was with my friends out at the Rockwell, a bar in Fells Point club, really awesome, and I saw this gorgeous redhead girl, and I saw she was with two guys. The night was going on for a little bit, and there was an opening I had. So I just reached over to her, touched her on the shoulder. I was like, hi, I was wondering, are you just with two guys? Are you with any of them? She was like, oh, no, they're just my friends. I was like, okay, great, because I think you are very attractive, and I love to talk to you. Night went on. We had a great night together. Then she asked me if I could walk her back to her place, which I did. The night was great. We had a great time together that night. And during that night, I asked if she was doing anything later that week. So fast forward to we went on a date. It was a Saturday night. We went on a date that Tuesday. What confused the crap out of me is that she was like a different person. It was really tough trying to talk to her, and it was like pulling teeth trying to asking her questions. And I was just wondering, obviously alcohol was involved at the club, but it was just like night and day, which really confused me. And I'm the type of guy that if a woman is straightforward with me and says, I'm not attracted to you, okay, cool. I have no problem with that. Obviously, not every woman is going to be attracted to every single guy. That's how life works. That's perfectly fine. But if she would have said to me hi, I'm just really not. It was just one night. I'm really not feeling this. I would have been fine with that. Obviously, I'm just wondering if something went wrong that I did or
Well, can you be more specific? You say night and day, but be more specific. What was she doing when you guys were first meeting versus what happened on the date? What was the difference for you?
The difference is that how open she was.
Open, what does that mean? Be more specific.
I would ask a bunch of questions and she would give me one-word answers. She wouldn't elaborate on anything. It's she didn't – I got her – I could tell that she kind of didn't want to be there on the date. She was I guess maybe it was just the environment that we were at.
So what happened after the date? What's happened since then? When was the date?
It was a couple weeks ago. Nothing. I haven't heard from her since.
Well, you're the one who's supposed to follow up with her.
Oh, I definitely did. I
And
did follow up. I messaged her a couple times the next day, waited a couple of days, messaged her again, and just no reply. So I guess maybe it was just a one and done thing for her, or maybe she wasn't like, I don't know. It's just kind of confusing to me.
yeah, this is interesting. This happens a lot. What's your question with this? Because I can go a million routes with this, but I want to know, like, do you have a question regarding what happened, or what are you trying to figure out?
I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, if to trying to avoid this certain thing happening again, where I meet someone at night at like a club or a bar early on before alcohol is involved, and talking throughout the night, and then getting her number and seeing if she would like to go out again, her saying yes. I guess I'm just trying to avoid this certain experience happening again, where if a woman like accepts a date, from my point of view, I feel like she's interested in me, she's happy, she wants to get to know me and everything. But with
Right.
this girl, it seemed like she wasn't interested at all.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't think alcohol was necessarily the thing that changed it. Maybe it made her more open, but it's not that. If it was the alcohol that was the issue, she would have ended up going on a second date with you or responded to your text message afterwards. It's just like, okay, you went on a date with someone who's a little bit more open when there's alcohol involved. But obviously, as we can tell here, she was not attracted to you by the end of the first date. So here's my theory on it, but I don't like to go too deep into these situations, because what guys need to understand is that it could be a million different reasons and we don't know. So it's a waste of time to analyze what went wrong. The only thing we can look at is, was there anything I maybe could have done a little bit better? In your case, I actually think you did pretty well. I mean, you got to the point where she was interested enough to go on a date with you. My theory is what happened is she was more excited about you in the moment when she first met you. And then again, sorry, we don't know what exactly happened, and we'll never know. Something happened in between that moment and then seeing you again. And that could be anything. That could be maybe that she realized that, oh, she doesn't want to go on a date with someone that she doesn't really know that well. Maybe, she decided to do it just because, but she wasn't really that interested to begin with, but she did it because she has nothing else better to do. Maybe she just found out that she wasn't attracted to you. Maybe you were on the date and she found that she wasn't that interested in you. There wasn't a chemistry there. Sometimes you can't hack into every single situation. So really, you're asking good questions here, but I don't think that you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to go on all these first dates with these girls you meet out at the club and they're all going to end up that way. I mean, unless you're telling me this is a pattern, I just...
Oh, no. This is the first time this has ever happened.
This is the first time.
Yes, sir. Like, pretty good luck with the clubs and girls there, get their numbers, spend the night together. And then,
right.
Sometimes with a second date, sometimes not.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen, man. It's a number. What people don't understand too is it's a numbers game all the way through to the point where, I mean, if we want to go all the way down the line of like marriage, you know what I mean? Like it's like there's all these points in between of like you first meet a woman, and then all this stuff happens, and then maybe you get to the point where you guys get married and have kids. That's like the farthest you could go. Right? So there's all these spots in between. And so it's all kind of a little bit of a numbers game. It's like, okay, you're going to approach a bunch of women. Some of them are going to respond. Some of them are not going to respond. And of course, this depending on your skill level, more will respond if you're, working on some of your, like we've been talking about today, masculine traits and things like that. But either way, some will respond, some won't. Then you'll go on a bunch of dates. Some dates are going to work out, some dates won't. Then you're going to go on like second, third, fourth dates with women, and some of those are going to work out and some won't. Then you're going to get into relationships with women, and some of those will work out and some won't. So you can never expect to bat 100. And so I think there's like this fine line that I'm trying to teach you guys. That is, we want to always look at things and kind of trial and error and see, like, always work to see what could we do better. But guys get a little bit obsessed with over analyzing specific situations when it doesn't work out that one time, and I get it. It's confusing. You're confused. You're like, she agreed. We got all the way to the point where she came on the first date, and then boom, what the heck happened? So understand that a woman can be in a completely different emotional state when they meet you versus when they go on that date. And then you might be asking, well, then why do they even bother going on that first date? Who knows? They're bored. They're trying to get over an ex. They think maybe it will work out because you were kind of a cool guy, but they're not sure. They decide to do it. Maybe their friend pushed them to do it. Maybe they want a free dinner and they're using you for a free dinner, free drink. Who knows? But she obviously came on the date and she wasn't interested. If you want to play this, actually, if you want to do this, this is kind of an interesting move. You could text her. She probably won't answer. And if she does answer, high chance she's going to give you a bullshit answer. But you could text her and say, hey, obviously you're not interested. No worries. All good. I noticed that you were really excited to go on to go on a date when I first met you, but on the first date there seemed to be something missing. I'm curious what it was for you. So you could actually text that.
I've done it before with a couple other girls because I love that line. That seeing your other previous videos when you've said that, I think it was on YouTube, and that's actually worked for me a couple of times, and I love that because you get like so many answers. Like a girl will say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I've been busy," and like turns the whole thing around. I just love that line.
And it's funny. I teach guys that line 9 times out of 10. It doesn't really get you anywhere because most women are really scared to reject guys. They are. Like, they just don't. That's why sometimes you'll get a phone number and it turns into nothing. You're like, I don't get it. Just give me your phone number. It's like because they didn't know what to do. They're just like, okay, here's my phone number. And they realize they're not going to even talk to that guy because they don't know how to say no. Because, generally I would say people are like good people and they're nice. So they just don't know, or they don't, want to go through a scenario. They have to hurt somebody or say something mean. So anyways, it's the same scenario here is, you can ask them, hey, like what went wrong? And the true answer would be like her saying, you know what, I'm not attracted to you. Or maybe you said this and it kind of pissed me off. Or I just don't like the way your face looks. Or I don't like the way that you look at me. Or I don't like what you do for a living. Or I just don't feel like there was a connection there. Like there's all these things that you could have said. But she's not going to say it because she has a hard time rejecting and saying something like that. So she's just going to say like, oh, I don't know. I'm busy, da-da-da-da. But once in a while you get a woman who will tell you something that you did where you can actually learn something from it. Maybe you said something to her that was like really offensive, or maybe you did something, I don't know. It's hard to come up with an example because it doesn't happen often. But, anything that could happen that, maybe turned her off, that there's something that you can work on. And sometimes those little nuggets are pretty cool. And you can then get better for the future. So it's up to you or anyone who's listening if you guys want to use that kind of line. But yeah, man, that's what I would say.
Thank you, Tripp. I appreciate it so much. Hope you and everyone else in the chat has a wonderful, wonderful day and a great week ahead.
Thanks, man. Take care. Thanks for calling.
You too. Bye.
All right, lines are open. 310-598-3384. That was awesome. Very cool. Good question. Very good question. What do we got? I'm looking at the chat right now. Lines are open. If you want to call in, we can answer your question, dive deep. I think that was pretty good. Nicholas says progress gives you confidence. That's true. It does. Progress. Working at something. Seeing results. That builds your self-esteem, builds your confidence. Absolutely. We can even go over and talk about some of the stuff that we went over today if you guys are like still confused about how this masculine, feminine things work. Don't forget, by the way, to follow me on Instagram. I like talking to you guys on Instagram. It's fun. You guys DM me. We can talk about stuff, and you can see what I'm up to. So I'm going to put that in the chat. At Tripp Advice is a way to connect with me on Instagram, see what I'm doing, see what I'm up to. Federer said, Tripp, how do you steal someone's girlfriend and make her your girlfriend? Oh, man, you really want to do that? Is that what you want to do? I mean, can we play Golden Rule for a second? Would you want someone to do that to you? You want to do that to someone else? I don't know, man. What's going on? What's your name, age, and where you're calling from?
Yo, what's up, Tripp? My name is Miguel, and I am calling from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I am 21 years old, and I had a question regarding to this situation that I had about 1 week ago. So I met a girl like from college. We were just we were on the same class. We were talking. We were like flirting, teasing. I was teasing her and just being fun and challenging, light and playful. And then so she's like, "What's your number?" I give her my number, and then I think a few days passed. She wanted me to go on a date with her, so I went on a date with her. And then after the date ended, we went home, and then I had no clue what to do. I froze, and I got scared. So we just like talked until like the day was over. So should um what should have I done in that situation?
So you guys were all alone somewhere?
Yeah,
Where were you?
yeah. We were at my house.
Okay, so at that point, I would have tried to get physical with her. So I would have gone for a kiss. You didn't do that.
Oh, okay. No.
How come?
Yeah, we were just it was mostly flirting and just talking.
Right. How come you didn't kiss her?
Yeah. I don't know, I just like froze. I tried getting close to her, but it just I felt nervous. I think that's what it was.
Why were you nervous?
I don't know. I just it seemed well. She was pretty, and when I try to like get physical with her, it just felt weird.
Why?
It's hard to explain.
You can do it. You can do it. Let's try. We're going deep here. Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
do it? Why wouldn't you do it?
See, well,
You were thinking it, right?
I'm
You were in the
trying.
moment with her, and you were
Yeah,
probably thinking like, okay, I want to kiss her. I want to get physical with her, but you didn't do it, correct?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Why didn't you do it?
I think I was mostly in my head and not like in the moment, like
What
not out of my mind.
what were you
And
say,
that's
what
why
were you saying in your head?
I was like, oh, I kind of want to kiss her right now. Like I want to touch her, like her hand, but I don't know if I want to do this, stuff like that.
And why were you saying things in your head that was stopping you from doing it?
Because I don't know. I think the stuff in my head, it was just stuff that came from the moment. It was useless, but I just couldn't get out of my head for some reason, and I just kept telling myself, "Okay, come on, you can do this, you can do this," and I think that stopped me from actually getting physical with
What
her.
was the fear? Let's go deeper. What was the fear? You were scared, right? You were in a moment of fear, yes?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What were you scared of?
That I think it was rejection.
There we go.
Yeah.
You were scared of getting rejected.
Yeah. From the kiss.
And now where are you?
And right now, I don't know, it's been a week since that passed, and I tried texting her. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." I
No, no,
feel
no,
like
no, no.
she knew.
What are you thinking now? What are you thinking
Oh,
now? Do
like,
you have feelings of regret? Do you wish you would have done it?
Yeah, I wish I would have done it. Yeah.
Okay. So I like to look at this situation logically. You know you should have done it. You didn't do it.
Mhm.
So you're feeling that pain of regret, right? That's why you and I are on a call right now and we're here live, right? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're feeling that pain of regret. So
Mhm.
let's just pretend this scenario went differently. Let's say you actually went for the kiss and she kissed you back. That would have been pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now let's say you went for the kiss and she goes, "Oh no, no, no. I don't want to do that with you. I actually only see you as a friend." Okay? Let's pretend we are in that scenario. That would probably kind of hurt,
Yeah.
right? That would sting. That'd feel pretty shitty, right?
Yeah.
What do you think feels worse? The situation you're in now, where you feel that pain of regret and uncertainty of what's going on, missing the moment that you had, or the pain of potentially getting rejected? Which is worse to you?
Yeah. I think probably the actual rejection and not feeling unsure about like what if I got rejected or what if I actually got the kiss.
So you're saying it feels worse to you getting the rejection than being in the place where you're at right now?
No.
So it feels worse now being in this unsure, I didn't try, I don't know what to do, where do we go from here, I didn't even try situation. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of my point, and I knew we were going to lead to that, right? So
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do to fix the situation now. But the most important thing that we can learn from this situation, the most important thing is the awareness of the kind of pain, so to speak, or that just like thing in your head that's bugging you that you're feeling right now. And that awareness of that we now have made you aware of that, the next time you're in a situation, this is going to motivate you because you're going to be in a situation, again, sometime in your life, maybe with this girl, where you're going to be like, oh, I have an opportunity to kiss this girl, to get close to her and make a move. And your head's going to be going, your primal brain is going to go, no, 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 we don't, your ego is going to go, no, we don't want you to get rejected. Don't do this, man. Don't do this. But you got to fight that part of your brain that's saying that and say to yourself, wait a minute, if I don't do this, I'm going to feel so much worse because I'm going to be now regretting it, missing an opportunity. Now I got to deal with what to do next and remembering that it's so much worse to not go for it. And this could be in anything. This is a life lesson, really. No matter what, it's always going to be worse to not try to do something than get rejected. There's almost a relief in rejection that people don't understand. Yeah, rejection hurts. It sucks to get rejected. It sucks that, someone is saying no to you. It hurts your ego. It's going to, be painful because you really like this girl. But there's also this bit of relief that you just know because then you'll know what to do. The pain that you're sitting in now is this pain of uncertainty. So now it's just this lingering suffering that you're going through where you're like, I don't know what to do now. And you're going to be figuring out, like, how do I get to meet up with her again? And does she like me? And it's like this thing that's going to last so much longer and just kind of eat away with you than just ripping the Band-Aid off and saying, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it and see what happens. And then you know what to do from there. Either you just kind of move on or, maybe you figure out the situation. Maybe she's going to say like, hey, I actually do like you, but I just want to take it really slow right now. And then you know what to do. You don't know if it's going to be this kind of flat out rejection. And then, of course, we're only thinking of the negative outcomes. She could have said yes. She could have actually kissed you back. And now you're in that like, oh, fuck, that what if, like it could have happened. Okay, so again, I'm saying all this to bring an awareness into your brain so that you can prevent this from happening next time.
All right, man. Thanks.
Sound good, my man?
Yeah, that does.
All right. So ask her out. Tell her to come back to your place. Go for the kiss. Don't regret it.
All right, man. Thanks.
Take care.
Peace.
Okay. We went deep there, guys. I hope that helps you. Hope that motivates you. Just looking at the chat right now. Yeah. Guys, I've been there too, man. I'll tell you, unless we get a caller, which I'll definitely answer, but like when I was in high school, there was this girl, and she liked me, and she was one of the pretty girls in school. To be continued. What's up? You're on the air. What's your name, age, where you calling from?
I am calling from North Carolina.
Cool. What's your name and age?
I am Dawson, and I am 18.
Awesome. What's your question?
All right, so there's this girl, and she says she really likes me. But whenever I try to text her, she don't know what she feels towards me.
Be more specific. Whenever you text her, what do you mean?
Like when I text her good morning or something, I see that she reads, but she doesn't never text me back.
So what's the question?
And I'm just wondering, how do I text her and hopefully get the chance for her to text back?
Well, when do you see this person?
I see her at school.
Okay. So, what's the question? Because it's not about texting, okay? If she's not texting you back, she's not interested. If you want to get her attracted, it has to happen in person. It has to happen in person. That's the only way you're going to get her attracted to you. Texting is only used to get them to meet up with you. But I know you're probably in high school right now, so texting back and forth and having these text message conversations is just a bunch of nonsense. How old is she?
She is same age as me.
Okay. What are you, senior in high school?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. This is one of those kind of high school-y different situations. Like when it comes to high school and meeting girls in high school, like it's a little bit different, you know? It's like not the same kind of game here, you know? So, yeah. I mean, if I were you, dude, if you think she's interested in you, you know, just get together with her after school. Like ask her to hang out, do something, and, you know, tell you're interested. It's kind of hard to give advice in this situation because you don't know what she's thinking, and if you ask her what she's thinking, it could turn her off. You know, it's like when you're that young and you're going through these situations where you're just kind of going back and forth with like texting, you're not sure. It's like there's nothing you can do that's going to like get her magically attracted. You've probably known her for a long time. So at this point, you know, you should just tell her you have a crush on her and just see how she responds. That's what I would do. And she's either going to be like, oh my God, me too, or she's going to be like, oh, I don't feel that way. And then you just move on from there. That's what I would do.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, guys, these high school situations, it's like the same thing as these situations that come up in it's the same situations that come up like when you know a girl from work. It's like I hate that guys put themselves in these situations. Like it bothers me. It's like you've known this girl for a long time, you're in the friend zone, you're kind of texting her, you're kind of not. You work with her, you're in high school with her, you're in class with her, she's in your friend group. It's like this weird situation where you're sort of in the middle. Like it's hard to give exact direct advice of what to do unless like I'm coaching you and know exactly like what the situation is. Like it's hard to know exactly. Someone's calling in, but I'm going to cancel this for right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, if you're ever in a situation like that, you just kind of got to go for it. Say, hey, listen, Like, I found I got a little bit of a crush on you. That's it, and see how they respond. Some guys are like, no, you got to be more mysterious. Good luck being more mysterious. Nothing's going to fucking happen. Like, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to be sitting there wondering. So just say, hey, you know what? I got a crush on you. And she's going to be either really happy, oh my God, yes. And she'll respond to it, or she's going to be like, oh, I don't feel that way about you. Great. And then you move on, you know? But my point is it's like, don't put yourself in these situations. Guys will just like, they won't put themselves out there enough. They just really like walk this fine line so they don't get rejected. Get rejected. Get rejected. Move on. There's so many other women out there. I don't mean to be harsh here. It just, I've heard this situation a million times. And I think I just feel that pain because I was there too. Right? It's like, I remember, again, back to the story I was saying earlier, there was a girl that I knew liked me for a fact. She told me she did. And I was in high school, and I didn't know what to do. I was too nervous to kiss her because I was afraid, I don't know, I would do it wrong, or I don't know. I was just scared to do it. I wasn't really scared of rejection because I knew she wouldn't, reject me because I knew she liked me. That's how pathetic it was, by the way. It's like I knew she wasn't going to reject me, and I still didn't do it. And then like a week later, she's like, okay, I see you as a friend. And I'll never forget that. And it's funny because it's a high school situation. It's not that big of a deal. But that is like an example of like what still happens even after you're out of high school. This happens with people all the time. It's like they won't make the move because they don't want to get rejected because they put so much value on that one girl. Remember the guy earlier who said that? He's like, but she's so pretty. It's like, you fell into the trap where you just like put all this value into this girl. And then because you put so much value into her, you put her on this pedestal and you're so scared for you to lose her because you don't think that you can get another girl. Someone said don't call if you're under 21. You can call if you're under 21. That was a good call. We learned some good stuff there. Okay. So, what a live, guys. Listen, if you want specific help from me and you need me to help you guide you through this whole world of dating now in 2019, let me help you. Go to coachbytripp.com, apply today. Let me help you. We'll get on a phone call. We'll figure out if coaching is a good fit for you. And then I will walk you through your own customized plan on how to meet and attract women in your town, whatever your situation is. As long as you're over 18 and you have time to do coaching and you're able to invest financially in it, then I can help you. So go to coachbytripp.com and apply today, and we'll rock it out. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing this with me. It was fun. We got some callers. Sorry for those people who called in and didn't end up getting on with me. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Also, don't forget, check me out on Instagram at TrippAdvice. TrippAdvice with 2 P's. Peace out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.